Hi, everyone. Here's another installment of our weekly real estate educational videos for you. So today we have Rachel Droll Eskelund with JLA Realty. Hi, Rachel.
Right.
And myself, Jennifer Rader with AmCap Home Loans. And today Rachel is going to talk about what determines the price of your home.
Perfect. So today, talking about what determines the price of your home, usually you'll scroll through some new listings and see a handful of homes that just might work. Some may be in a neighborhood of your choice. Some may have the bath and bedroom count that you want, even a big yard for the kids. But the one question you might have is, why is there a $20,000 difference in price from one listing to another? So I thought it would be helpful to cover the exact reasons those houses you love are differently priced. So there are four main factors that go into pricing a home. And the first up is location. The location won't ever change. So this is one of the largest factors in influencing the price.
Very interesting. So, Rachel, what would be considered a desirable location that would add value, and what features might detract something from or detract value from a home?
So where a home sits in proximity to schools, restaurants, even our beloved Target, all of that affects the desirability and listing price of a home. So features that would detract from a home's value would be proximity to, let's say, train tracks or an airport because it's super noisy, or if the house backs up into a busy street. So those are all something that they need to take into account. The next factor would be size and age. So if two homes are in a similar location, we now check out both the square footage and the age of the home. On one street, you can have as much as a 10 to 15-year difference in age of the home and just as much different in size. So when scrolling through listings, always look for how old the home is and be sure to check out the data on price per square footage.
Interesting. What if there are not very many homes sold of similar size? How do you generate a good estimate of value, and how would you compare, like if you're going to list a two-story and there's only one stories, how do you value those when they're still very different?
That's a good question. So if there are no homes of similar size, we have a few options that will help us determine the value. One of which is cost approach. So how much would it cost to rebuild a similar home, especially in today's market?
Okay.
We could also think about deduction of the age factor and the condition of the home as well. And we could also expand our search in general. But another thing to keep in mind is a one-story generally has more square footage than a two-story, so it's typically higher in value.
Okay.
The third factor is determined that we help us determine the listing price would be comps. So realtors use a process called comparative market analysis, or known as a CMA for short. So this helps us estimate the home's value. So simply put, they pull recently sold homes in a specific area or neighborhood. And they're called comps, and this helps us to see what's selling and what's not, and at what price.
Okay. So when you do that, kind of this similar before, what if there's no sold comps in the recent months? Does that mean that this is an undesirable neighborhood and I really shouldn't consider moving into it?
No, so when there are no homes sold in recent months, it usually means that those people don't want to move, right? So they really enjoy the neighborhood they're in, or they want to hold on to that equity that they've built over the last how many years they've been there.
Mhm.
And we can definitely compare further than 6 months prior to. But what you want to keep in mind is what state was the market condition in at that time? Because I can tell you right now, homes before COVID are not going to be priced like they would today because the market has shifted and it's changed. So you have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, that makes total sense. If you love your neighborhood, why would you move?
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Absolutely.
yeah, it totally makes
Eh,
sense.
Yep. So the last factor is upgrades.
So what kind of upgrades would demand the most money? What should I do to my home? And should I really pay attention to the outside or really focus on the inside?
It's a great question. And I think I need to let everyone know that there's a huge difference between upgrades and updates, because
Mhm.
upgrades are things like, new kitchen, new bathroom. Updates are things like a new AC, right? So, but the two biggest things that I would say that would add value to a home is a brand new kitchen, or a sleek modern master bedroom. Those are always going to demand a higher listing price than an outdated counterpart. But two things that sellers should pay attention to, because I know a lot of times they ask, should we pay attention to the inside or the outside? What's better? It's both. Because on the outside, you have things like the foundation and curb appeal. And on the inside, you have things like touching up the paint or renewing your AC, making sure that everything works in the house. So paying attention to these things will bring more value to the home, because the last thing a buyer wants to do is look around the house on the outside or the inside and see that they have to put more money in it than they would like to. But those are the main factors that determine pricing a home. I hope that helps.
Definitely helps. Hopefully it helps our audience as well.
I agree. Well, we appreciate everybody watching today. If you have any questions or concerns and you would like to know, or you have any more questions that we didn't address today, or you would like to know how to apply for your loan on the beautiful home that you've chosen and found, please give us a call. I'll have our information below. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Rachel.